What's up, guys? Welcome to Calgary Barbell. My name's Bryce, and today we're gonna talk about shoes. Yes, we're probably gonna spend about 20 minutes going through every single pair of powerlifting shoes I've worn in my career, as well as we're gonna have one of our other coaches, Danny, come on here and talk about the bunch of different shoes that she's worn. Now, we kind of went into powerlifting shoes in a little bit less detail in another video. We had a lot of people get pretty fired up about that.
Holy frick, dude, I thought this video was about shoes, and I had to watch literally minutes of powerlifting before he freaking talked about the heckin' shoes, man. The nerve of some people. Oh, I guess you can just click and scrub through the video.
So we decided we'd dedicate a full video to it because to this day, that's still one of our most viewed videos. So people seem to really care about what's on people's feet while they powerlift. So we're gonna bring it to you.
The lineup of shoes we're gonna be looking at today include the Converse Chuck Taylors, the Powerfirm Winds, the Sabo Deadlifts, the Titan Contenders, Mark Bell's Reebok Power Shoe, the Nike Romaleo 2s, the Adidas Powerlift, the Otomix Stingrays, the Fit Kicks, and the Nike Hyper KOs.
We're gonna break down each of these shoes into 5 different sort of criteria that we're gonna use to review them. So first off, we're gonna talk about the features of the shoe, and that is the size of the heel, whether or not they have a strap, how high the ankle goes, all those kinds of things. We're gonna talk about the feel of the shoe, so whether or not it's nice and grippy, or you're sliding, or your feet roll over the sides, those kinds of things. We're gonna talk about the cost, because obviously that's gonna play a role, and we're gonna talk about the style, so whether or not we think it looks cool, basically, which I think is honestly one of the most important things. So the first pair we're gonna talk about are the Chuck Taylors. Now the Chuck Taylors are a pretty iconic powerlifting shoe. They've been something I've seen on people's feet at powerlifting meets since I first started. They were my first pair of powerlifting shoes, and I wore many, many pairs of these. These shoes actually were the first pair I pulled 700 pounds in. The features of the Chuck Taylor would be that it's a relatively thin, relatively non-compressible sole. There is a little bit of compression to it, and you can get them in high top or low top, so a little bit of ankle support if that's something that matters to you. In terms of the feel, I found these were great for pulling conventional, great for squatting in, but once I started pulling sumo, that was when I moved away from these. I found my foot spilled over the edge. I found I often, my feet would drift slightly throughout a set of deadlifts once I had that excessive sort of lateral pressure. So I didn't really enjoy these too much as a sumo puller, and that was one of the reasons that I got away from them. As well as an aside, I'll make a quick note of their durability. You can see these are starting to go there. They're not so bad, but be ready to replace these every probably 8 months or so if you're putting them through the ringer like I was. This is probably my 4th or 5th pair of Chucks I wore these for maybe two to 3 years. As far as the fit goes and the sizing, I wore a 10.5 in these, and I think that is pretty close to true to size, maybe a half size small. And for the cost, we're gonna talk in Canadian dollars, CAD, because that's what's most relevant to a lot of our audience, a lot of our Canadian audience. So you can get a pair of Chuck Taylors anywhere between $40 and $90. So in terms of all the shoes we're gonna talk about today, these are probably some of the most budget friendly. And lastly, the style. I really like these. I like the fact that you can get them in a million different colors. If you go to the Converse website, you can actually design your own with multiple layers and all kinds of weird crap like that. And honestly, I still wear these as just kind of streetwear shoes. I don't use them to lift in anymore, but I do like the way they look, so I will wear them outside of the gym. Next up, we're gonna talk about the Winds. Now, these ones are a brand called Powerfirm. I know Rogue makes some, I know Pendlay makes some, and I think they're all a pretty similar and comparable design. So, with these shoes, this is a 3/4 inch effective heel. This was my first pair of heeled shoes, and I've been using these for, let's see, 5 years now, and they're still in really good condition. None of the eyelets have torn all the way through. I've had to replace the laces, but quick note on durability, these hold up pretty damn well. As well, worth mentioning are the 2 metatarsal straps. I found those really good for kind of rooting yourself into the shoe, making sure that it fit well, not only sort of in the frontal plane, but laterally as well. And I found that these were the first pair of shoes that I used that had a heel in them, and squatting in heels that's how I prefer to squat. So these were a great shoe for me, and again, sort of a good place to start maybe. In terms of the feel of these, I recently used them to squat just because I was too lazy to change my shoes. I use these to bench in because they have a larger heel, and I unracked a squat and noticed that there's no real support in the front of the shoe, which, if you like, is a good thing. But the back of the shoe is very, very sturdy, very stable because of the heel. I think it's cork or wood or something. But the front of the shoe, you're very much still flexible. Whereas compared to the shoes that I squat in now, they're more of a boot style and they're completely enveloping your foot. So these give you a little bit more feel through to the ground, perhaps, with the bigger heel. So it's kind of a mix between having a very firm feel and a little bit of flexibility. Fit, I would say these are pretty much true to size as well. These are 10.5, maybe a half size small, but I got these from a company out of Manitoba. If you go to weightliftingshoes.ca, that's where I picked these up many, many years ago. And they actually still do money orders and foot tracings. So if you have one foot that's bigger than the other, I'm pretty sure they account for that. And you can get them, fitted to exactly how you want. In terms of the cost of these shoes, right now they run between $140 and $150 Canadian, and that's shipped to any of the provinces here in Canada. I'm not sure how the Do-Ins are priced through Rogue or Pendlay. I just kind of know the company that I used. In terms of the style of these shoes, you can get them in, I think, 5 or 6 different styles. They're pretty classic looking. Some of them are a little bit flashy. I'm not a big fan of their flashier designs. But in terms of a sort of just plain looking weightlifting shoe, they're pretty cool, I guess. Not my favorite looking shoe. Next up are the Titan Contenders. Now these are an interesting shoe. I get a lot of flack because my wife thinks they look like bowling shoes, but I really like them, so there. In terms of features, they have a 1/2 inch effective heel. They have a nice high ankle. They've got a toe cap, and the whole sort of sole is relatively reinforced. They're made out of leather, which means they're very durable. But they also have about 1 million eyelets, so you need very long laces. And to be honest, that's one thing I've had issues with these shoes, is they've gone through laces like crazy. I don't know what it is about them, but I've torn probably 3 pairs of laces. I finally bought these like iron reinforced or steel reinforced, some absurd kind of excessively durable lace, which now I think should last me, but I've gone through a few pairs of laces on these. They do have a strap across the foot there to help kind of anchor things in laterally, and like I said, a nice high ankle. A little tab on the back is nice to be able to kind of pull your foot in there, and I haven't had any problems in, I think, about 2 years of wear with anything giving out whatsoever. So very, very durable, sturdy pair of shoes. In terms of the feel, this is a very sort of sturdy feel shoe. That's something that I like. I like kind of being anchored into the shoe and the shoe just being set on the ground, as opposed to having a lot of feel through the shoe. That's one thing that I like about these, and like I said, when I went back to the Do-Ins, I noticed that I could really feel the floor through the front of my foot, and I didn't quite like that as much. I like being more rooted into the shoe and just letting the shoe be stable on the ground. So if that's the kind of feel that you like in a shoe, that might be a good choice for you. In terms of the fit, again, true to size, these are a 10.5. I'm starting to think maybe my feet aren't 11, because all 3 of the pairs of shoes we've looked at so far have been at 10.5. So yeah, they run very, very similar to everything else so far. In terms of the cost of these shoes, they are a bit of a doozy. These come to a whopping $275 Canadian. Now these are made to order. You can get them in custom colors. You can get a low top or a high top. They are all leather, very durable, that kind of thing, but the price point is quite high. So if you are looking at investing in a pair of these shoes, bear that in mind. And lastly, the style. Like I said, I really like these. I've had a few people jock me because they're, I don't know, I guess they look like bowling shoes to some people. My big thing when I got these, honestly, if I'm being totally transparent with you guys, is that I wanted a shoe that not a lot of people had, not a lot of other people had. I guess I'm a bit of a powerlifting hipster, but that was one of the reasons I wanted these. Also, I just kind of wanted to see what Titan's shoes were like, and as with anything else from Titan, the quality has really held up, but you know, like I said, the price is there. So I like the way they look. Not everybody does. You can make your own judgment. We also have today the Sabo Deadlift. Now, these were the first pair of shoes that I got specifically to pull sumo in, and for that reason, I really like them. They have got a good grip pattern on the bottom. Sorry, getting right into features, they have a good grip pattern on the bottom. The sole is very thin, and I found that the design of the sole helped to keep me from sliding, helped to keep my foot from rolling. That was one thing I found in the Chucks, was that my foot was rolling over the edge of the sole, and I really didn't like that. So in terms of features, it's got ankle support, a high ankle, as well as another strap across the metatarsal. So it's got an ankle strap and the metatarsal strap. Quick note about durability, that is the one thing that I really had an issue with these. The Velcro is separating from the strap on both of the ankle straps to quite an extent on that shoe. I've torn 2 or 3 eyelets on each of these, and just in general, they kind of feel like they're just falling apart. I've had a number of issues. You can see that eyelet just tore right through. So I've had a number of issues with durability with these. Since I bought these, Sabo came out with a version 2, and apparently fixed a number of the issues that I had with them. I haven't used the version 2, so I can only comment on what I have used, and I did find some durability issues with these shoes. In terms of the feel, like I said, very, very stable, very grippy, very kind of flimsy, so you can really feel the floor with your feet, which is something that I like on my deadlift. Conversely to what I explained on my squat about why I like those Titan shoes so much, I like to feel very low to the ground. I like to feel very, be able to feel the ground very much through the flexible sole on these. So in terms of the feel, I found them great for deadlifting them. With the fit of these, I was a size 43. Now, I have no idea what that means in relation to American sizing, but these were, I think they're a Russian brand, and they're sized exclusively in European sizes. So whether or not they run big or small, I'm not sure, but I'm a 10.5 in everything else and a 43 in these. So I guess do the math. In terms of the cost, these bad boys are gonna run you about $115 Canadian. And in terms of the style, I like them. I like the sort of low profile, sort of unassuming look. I wish they didn't say deadlift across the strap, but I guess that's the name of the shoe, right? So there's kind of some interplay there. But yeah, maybe if it didn't say deadlift, I'd be more of a fan. It's almost like you need to like be reminded which lift to wear these for or something like that. It's kind of like, I'm gonna piss off a lot of people here, but it's kind of like getting your last name tattooed across your back.
What up, homies? It's your boy Dylan, the man behind the camera, coming to you to review my shoes that I don't even squat in anymore. The first shoe I'm going to talk about are the Nike Romaleos. Originally I bought these because they were neon green on the site, but when you actually get them in person, it's more of like a piss yellow, like someone who had too much vitamin B6 sort of color. So that's something to take into consideration if you wanted a green shoe and not a yellow shoe. But features of the shoe, a big reason why I bought them was they're wider than the Adidas counterpart. I can't remember the name of the Adidas one. And they also have 2 straps, which I thought might be beneficial. Is it? I don't know, because I haven't tried a 1-strap shoe, but I really like it. It helps me really snug my foot into this shoe. This shoe also has a 3/4 inch heel, if that's something that you care about. These shoes are really, really, really heavy, which is a good thing. So when I'm squatting in these, I feel cemented to the ground. My feet don't move, they don't feel like they want to move, which is a huge, huge benefit of wearing these to squat in. So in a regular everyday shoe, I wear a size 13. I ordered these in a 13, and I feel like they're slightly bigger than a size 13. I have a little bit of toe room in there. So I'd say if you had the option of getting a half size smaller, I would consider doing that. But for me, size 13, I couldn't get a 12.5 because I don't make that for freaks like me. But cost of these shoes, I think at the time of purchasing these, they were $189. I think I got them on sale at Rogue Fitness. But now they're on a version 3 of this shoe, and they're about $210. So that's something to also consider. It's pretty pricey, but in all honesty, these have held up for 3-4 years now, and I feel like they're gonna last another 3 or 4 years. Like they've barely broken down at all. So it's a solid investment. They're gonna last you a long time if that's something that you're looking for. Style-wise, I like the look of them. I like the look of most of the Romaleos. They have a lot of cool colors where the Nike's a different color and it matches the plastic on the heel and yada yada yada. If you're into that kind of stuff, then that's pretty cool. But yeah, overall, I don't know, I'd say it's a good looking shoe. And the other shoe that I've used to lift in were these names, Reebok CrossFit Lite Powerlift Tr, something like that. Some sort of long, really offensive name. One of the best features of the shoe is how wide the toe box is here. If you were to compare this to something like a Converse or pretty much any other shoe, you don't see that. You never really see shoes this wide. And I found that nice as someone who has wide feet. I was able to really feel the shoe, feel the floor. And it felt really good to deadlift in. I also really liked how thin the sole was. I liked how flexible it is. Like it's like there is no sole there, which is really nice. But then that kind of leads into the issues of this shoe, which is it's not built very well. The sole started coming away from this fabric part. The toe right here kind of ripped open. I think my laces ripped pretty early. Not sure what else is happening with these, but like within 6 months, these were really falling apart. Maybe I'm just, really aggressive with how I walk and lift and live my life, but they just really fell apart. I want to love these shoes, but that's just something that held me back from buying more. Which kind of brings me into the other thing. When I first bought these shoes, they were, I believe, around $80 on the Reebok site. I might have gotten these ones on sale as well. But as of today, I don't think you can even buy these in a store. And I think Mark Bell had them for sale for like $159 American or something like that when he had a seminar in his gym or something like that. So it's kind of, the prices jumped a lot, and it's just, I wouldn't say it's totally worth it. If you can get these for under $100, I would say it's the perfect shoe, but over $100, you're kind of, it's not worth it. They're gonna start breaking down. As for look, I honestly don't like the look of these. I think they look like clown shoes. I have size 13 feet, so that might kind of play into it. But these ones were the first versions that came out, and they were branded with CrossFit, and they have ones and zeros and weird like tribal tats all over them. Like, I don't know. I didn't like the look of it. I thought it kind of looked cheesy. I wish they would have just had like a plain black, nice slick shoe, but that's just me. Maybe other people like it, but yeah.
Hey guys, it's Danny here. If you don't know me yet, I've been an athlete with Calgary Barbell for the last 3 years. I'm also a coach with Calgary Barbell, just started this year. So today I'm here to talk to you about the different types of powerlifting shoes that I've used in my powerlifting career so far. Today I'm going to start off with the Adidas Powerlift 2.0. So this was one of the first powerlifting shoes that I bought. I bought these after my first competition. They have some pretty cool features. So we have a 1/2-inch heel here. We also have synthetic leather. So these are gonna be a lot more durable and a lot more supportive than your average shoe. They also have the metatarsal strap, which is gonna help anchor you to the floor. Some things I like about this shoe are the 1/2-inch heel. So that's allowing you to get into a little bit more efficient positions, well, for me anyways, in the high bar squat and Olympic lifting. As far as these go for cost, I got these on a really good deal. So it was like a Cyber Monday sale, and I got them for $40. Right now they're online for $80, but Cyber Monday's coming up, so maybe you can get the same deal. As far as style goes, you're gonna see at powerlifting competitions, lots of girls have these because they do come in tons of different colors, and there is even a new generation that you can choose from. Okay, next we have the Otomix Stingray. So I just bought these shoes a few months ago because I decided I wanted something a little bit different than everybody else had, and something that I could squat and deadlift in. So some cool features about these shoes. They have a really thin, flat sole here. It's also sewn on, so it's gonna be really, really great for deadlifting. There's also no cushioning, which is gonna help with your range of motion in the deadlift. What I really like about these being a sumo puller is the high ankles. So you're gonna get a lot of ankle support, as well as in the squat. Something I'm not liking about these is they don't have the eyelet for the shoelaces. So I'm hoping that I don't wear these too tight and rip one of these, because that's gonna be an expensive mistake. As far as these go for cost, these were $180 USD, which worked out to about $240 Canadian. So that hurt a little bit. And then as far as these go for style, there's lots of different options for you. You can get anything from, you know, like camo, bright red, or you can customize your own trim, color, everything. So these are a really great shoe. Last I have the Fit Kicks. So these are advertised as a lifestyle shoe, something you can wear at the pool or on the beach, which is kind of weird. I've been using these just in between my accessories and my main lifts. So it's something I can just slip on really easy. Some features about these is they have a microfiber and synthetic leather toe, so your toe's not gonna rip through. I also found out today that that makes these shoes also vegan if you're into that. As far as fit goes, these shoes are an 8.5, 9.5 size, so the large size. They came in 4 different sizes, and I found these to be pretty true to size, but because of my wide feet, they're overflowing over the sides a little bit, so I might go into the men's, which are a little bit wider. As far as style goes, I definitely won't be ordering this color again, but I do see that Inner Strength has a lot more options to choose from. And these run for about $40, so if you just want something that you can go to the beach in, or deadlift in, or just walk around the gym in, these are for you.
So the last pair of shoes I'm going to talk about today are my brand new deadlift shoes. Like I said, I'm a bit of a powerlifting hipster, so I found some shoes that not many other people had that I thought looked cool. Talked to a couple people that had them, and I've been getting a lot of questions about them, so we're going to go into a little bit more detail about what they are today. And the shoes are the Nike Hyper KO. So these are actually a boxing shoe. I got these from an MMA store. In terms of features, they have a metatarsal strap, which I find is actually pretty low. If I had my way, I'd have it a little further up the foot. Right now, where it is, it just kind of crunches my toes and doesn't feel super great when I tighten it up. The laces go only to about mid-ankle, whereas the shoe itself goes higher. So despite the height of the shoe, the ankle support really only goes, I don't know, maybe halfway up the high ankle there. The construction is very solid. These seem like a very durable shoe. I haven't seen any issue at all. The eyelets are reinforced there. Not sure if it's real or synthetic leather, sorry. And the soles, again, are very, very nice and thin. There's one thing worth mentioning here, though, and that is that there's arch support in this part of the shoe. So there's actually a little bump that's gonna kind of push up into the arch. Now, at first, it kind of was tough to get used to. And it took me a little while. I think I've almost flattened it out now from deadlifting in them, but it took me a little while to get used to that. I think once I did get used to that, I kind of like it as a bit of a cue to stay mindful and conscious of my feet when I'm deadlifting. I tried squatting in them, didn't like it, but that's just me and squatting in flats in general. In terms of the cost, these were, I think, about 220 bucks Canadian, so really expensive. But again, you know, I wear the Contenders and I wear these, so I would much rather spend a little bit more money on a more expensive shoe that's going to last me a long, long time. And lastly, style. I think these are awesome. I think that I really like the red and white idea, being a Canadian who competes internationally. I think that that's a cool thing. These come in a ton of really, really awesome colorways. You know, so if you're looking for something that's over the top, flashy and gaudy, and that's your style, then maybe these are a decent shoe for you. All right, guys, so we just spent the better part of probably 20 minutes by the time this video is said and done talking about shoes. And I feel like, that being said, it's my duty to give you guys a little bit of a PSA, and that is, it doesn't matter. Your shoes don't matter. Your shoes aren't gonna make or break your powerlifting career. So while it can be useful to decide whether or not you should squat in a heeled shoe or a flat shoe, I mean, try putting some 2.5 kilo plates under your heels, see if you like that. If so, maybe look at a pair of heeled shoes. I think it's easy to get really wrapped up in what's trendy and what you're able to consume in powerlifting a lot of times, but like I said, your shoes aren't gonna make or break your squat. It's not all about the shoes. I don't agree with Louis Simmons on a lot of stuff, but he did once say, don't have $100 squat shoes and a 10-cent squat, and that's something I can get on board with. All right, guys, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Leave a like if you liked it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If there's shoes that you've worn that you have an opinion about, if you agree or disagree with us, go ahead and leave it in the comments below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.